Hello, hello, hello. I am happy to be here with you. And if you have any questions, I am here to answer those questions. It is May 24th. We have one more Wednesday left in the month. And we're already we're already at the end of May. I was just looking at the calendar and how crazy that is. So, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. If you want to join me on screen, I am dropping the link in the chat. Just remember, if you do join me on screen, at least mute the YouTube side so that there's no feedback. And we'll get started. We got a couple people watching. Let me know who's watching. And did you just remember? Did you see my post? I really have to get better. I got to find somebody to do my social media. Get better at getting out the links and such earlier. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Great to have you. Hey, Dawn. Great to see you. Dawn, my partner in crime, in the calls. We got a clothing call later. Yay. So if you guys have missed it, last week, you got the notification. Yay! Thank you. Thank you for ringing that notification bell so that you would get those. So last week I started a podcast with a friend of mine, Renee from Mommy Hasn't Showered. If you have not gone to her YouTube page or found her on Instagram, I will. Let me see if I got what happened. I will drop the link to her channel in the chat. She's also got a blog. I wish I just had her like link tree or something so that I could just drop all of her stuff in there. But she does a lot of stuff. She's on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and she has a blog, and then she's got the YouTube. So anyway, we partnered last week and did our first podcast last week, and then yesterday we had a phenomenal podcast with Adam Elm, who is a mortgage specialist. So, side gig, thank you. Yesterday's live was great. I learned things I didn't even know I needed. I feel the same way. I had no idea about some of the things that Adam clarified, talked about, brought up yesterday. And the questions that we had were great. Even if you're not interested yourself in real estate investing, yesterday was a huge eye opener for me. I have to go back and listen to it again so I can take more notes. It's kind of hard to take notes and get all the little nuggets when you are part of the host team. So it was super eye opening. We see all of these TikToks and Instagrams and reels and stuff, and they only tell a little piece of the story. And then if you don't have people that are knowledgeable on those things in your circle, and even if you do have people in your circle, if you don't know the right people to contact, then you might get bad information even in your circle. So I had reached out to a couple of people just in passing, that I, was talking to online and had asked about the DSCR loans that we talked about yesterday. And they were all like, it's too complicated, leave it alone, don't bother with it. It's not what it's cracked up to be. There's a lot of qualifications, there's this, there's that. And yesterday we found out that that may not so much be the case. So anyway, um it was super eye-opening, and I hope you guys enjoy it. We will be doing some more interviews with Adam, and we were talking about doing a first-time home buyer one coming up. I also have reached out and spoken with one of my prior mentors when I had my brief stint with New York Life, and he is a certified financial planner. He is going to be joining me. We won't be able to do lives together, but I will be able to get you guys information. I will be able to do closed Zoom calls with him and you. So, and if you are ready to talk to somebody, you've got specific things in mind, you're ready to talk to somebody, reach out and I will get you on his calendar. He is phenomenal when it comes to all things life insurance, retirement planning, planning for your children. We already discussed that I have people that have minor children and they want something to do with the money that they are paying their children to help them in their business. So is going to be one of the top topics, as well as retirement planning, tax strategies, things like that with retirement planning. So all that being said, those things are coming up. Oh, here's Renee. Based on our first podcast, Renee, we had somebody reach out about the book Richest Man in Babylon. Well, Renee started reading it and she is convinced me to also start reading it. So part of next week's podcast is going to be just a little talk between her and I about what we have. Well, we're doing it with Audible. So what we have heard so far, what we like, ways to maybe use it. We don't really know yet. I just got it from Audible. So I haven't even started listening to it yet, but she was telling me a little bit about it. So we're going to do part of our podcast will be discussing a book that we are reading. And if you guys want to go ahead and grab it, again, this one is Richest Man in Babylon. And it's only about 4 hours or so on Audible. There's a bunch of different iterations of it. It took me longer probably to pick which one I wanted to listen to than it's going to take me to listen to it. So yeah, I get picky. And there was way too many choices. So I think she got the one that just comes up first, and I got the one that has the female reader. So if that helps you. So, Kimmery, hi. Glad to have you. Who else is watching? Let me know. And great, side gig has listened to it once before when it was recommended and will listen to it again. Perfect. And then you can jump in on the conversation with us next Tuesday if you would like to. I figure, I'm probably not gonna get more than about halfway into it at the most. between now and then, just because of what my schedule is for the next few days through Sunday. So I will get at least an hour into it, and then we can discuss that on Tuesday. I'm super excited about that. Hi, Sherry. Great to have you. I appreciate you all being here. Do we have any questions today? What can I answer for you guys? We have one full week left, and then the first Wednesday in June will be like a week into June. So that will be when we do our bookkeeping. I mean, you can definitely do it beforehand and just join me if you have any questions, or you can follow the schedule and do it on the first Wednesday of the month. So whichever one is easier for you, I will be here regardless to help you on the 7th, isn't it right? Yes, on the 7th of June for the bookkeeping call. But I'm here today to answer any questions that you might have regarding, bookkeeping, taxes, accounting, business. Does anybody have another revenue stream that they're wanting to get into? I love talking about revenue streams. Come on. So Sherry says, I'm still going to contact you with owning 2 homes, Florida and Kentucky, and buying one with my LLC. Great. Looking forward to it. I know we did talk about it some. So yeah, that would be a pretty good conversation to continue. What else do we have? Renee and I just started a new revenue stream. We will be talking about that over the next week or next few weeks. Sherry says, I have a business reason now. Perfect. We have 8 people watching. If anybody wants to join me online on the call, I had put the link in earlier. I can drop the link again. There's the link. Dawn says, I could use another revenue stream, just haven't come up with an idea yet. Sherry says, inventory purchasing is different in Kentucky, especially in the summer. Okay. I guess it depends on what your niche is, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you start looking into ways to get inventory sent to you. Yard sales. Cool. Close. Yep. So, talking about revenue streams, it's always good that, once you get your processes in order, that, you have someplace else to put some of your income, maybe if that's what you need to do for a tax strategy, or if you just need another revenue stream for times like now when, if you're on eBay and eBay is a little bit slower because we're coming into the summer slowdown. Some people, it's already hit pretty hard. I mean, if you're not prepared for that, it's definitely a rude awakening. But get your processes. It's a great time to get everything streamlined, perfected. All your processes for your photos, for your listing, to make sure that the things that you already have up are quality items. If not, you know, get them out of your store, because it it's not going to hurt as bad right now when things are already slow as it will when things pick up. So that once things do start picking up, everything in your store is like perfect. So it can be, your store can get just like turned on. It's like fire. Saigid says, working on turning my revenue streams into rivers. I love it. I love it. Revenue rivers. Let's do that. And rivers end in oceans. So that's perfect. I love it. I love it. Build that ocean of financial stability and strong lives that we can live the best life of our dreams in our reality. One of the things that we want to do is move somewhere else, somewhere out of the country, maybe someplace like Costa Rica. It's got mountains, it's got beaches. I don't know all that. I've never been, so, but the thought is nice. The thought of balmy. I'm not a big beach person, but I love the balmy weather. I love being able to swim. So I would need a place with a pool, even though the water looks really good. So might have to do that too. Might have to actually go to the beach, but I would still want a pool. Get out there in all that sun, and my hair is going to turn absolutely white, and I'm going to look like a little brown prune. Especially getting older. All right, come on, guys. What kind of questions we have? Kimmery says, Costa Rica does not have a mail service. That's okay. I'm not taking eBay with me. When it comes time, that won't be one of the things that goes with me. In fact, I won't have anything that is going to require me to ship or hold inventory. Oh, you guys have heard about my camper. So for those that haven't, I got a camper a few weeks ago. Guess what happened this morning? Since nobody's asking me any questions anyway, I'm just going to sit here and run my mouth. My eBay business rolled over into my camper life. So the camper has these two cabinets on either side of the Murphy bed that comes down. And we were trying to figure out, because there's the jackknife couch that's right there, and it's hard to get to the cabinet. So even if we put our clothes in there, it's going to be hard to get them out and keep them organized. So I went out there, took one of my boxes like this one, and went out there and stuck it in the welcome Vasa. Stuck it into the cabinet, and it fits. So I brought the box back in. I packed my clothes in the box, and I took one from my this inventory that looks like this, and one of the smaller ones that I used for the jewelry. And I put both of those, I put my personal garments in the one for the jewelry, and I put my regular clothes in the other one, and I put both of them in the cupboard, and it fits great. And then I hung up a pair of jeans and a hoodie, and everything fits, and I can get it out nice and easy and put it back in nice and easy, and nothing's going to be all jumbled up. I was so excited. I was like, look at this, eBay meets camping. It's amazing when your processes for one thing can move into your process for something else. I thought that was just so super cool. Vasa, is it Vasa or Vesa?
This not.
Okay. I'm not sure what's going on with that. All right. Anyway, I was super excited about it. How's that? I thought it was the best thing ever. So, any accounting questions? Any eBay questions? Any business questions? I guess I keep hitting my table and making the camera shake. I apologize about that. I see it keeps getting a little bit blurry. So I'm just gonna have to sit here and talk to myself. Well, sort of. So what kind of revenue streams do you have, side gig? If you're still with us. Anybody got anything? I've run out of things to talk about. Anybody have any workbook questions? I see Dawn trying to come in, but their device is not connected, so they won't let me. Side gig says eBay, food delivery, grocery delivery, and working on another one. Very cool. Do you want to talk about the one that you're working on? Like I said earlier, Renee and I just started a new side gig within the last week, and we will be bringing you guys some of that information next week. It has a lot of different aspects to it, but it doesn't cost much to get started. And it's a great one if you are looking to learn some other business building skills and things like that. So Side Gig says, trying to figure out how to teach people it's easy to make some extra money. There are so many opportunities. Yes, there are. Well, YouTube is definitely one way. And there are other avenues that you can do as well. I can't remember which one I was looking at some of them myself, and one of them in particular, it's like you have to build a certain amount. Like it only pays you for the amount of time that somebody watches. So if they don't hit a certain place, like I don't know, we're just throwing out a number. Say they don't get to 15 minutes, then then you may not even get paid for it. Skillshare. Yes, that's one of them. Is that? I wonder. Is that the one that is like that? I thought there was another one. I keep wanting to say alignable, but I'm pretty sure it's not alignable. Um, some of what another one that Dawn, I want to let you in, but it's saying that devices are not connected, so it's not going to let me. It says you need to connect your mic or cam before I can add you. So you have to build the coursework, and so there's once you build the coursework, there's a lot of different avenues that you can take. You can have your own website. You can use Kajabi. You can use Skillshare. You could even use YouTube. There's a lot of different ways and things that people can teach. So if you have an expertise in something, then regardless of whether you use one, whichever platform you choose to use, you should also consider YouTube because of because it in and of itself is just it's a tax strategy. Um OnlyFans. Whoo. So yeah, and it's the OnlyFans isn't always uh sex from what I understand. um so there's all kinds of stuff that goes on over there. I haven't like made an account or really, gone to fully figure it out. But um Sidekick says Skillshare is a good idea. I'm working on a website. It requires sitting still and focusing. Those are not my strengths. I agree with you, which is why I decided to not build it myself. I used to build websites back in the day when GeoCities was around. Anybody remember GeoCities? I had a few websites there. And I learned JavaScript and I learned HTML. I learned all these things, and while some of it is still being used, it's so different now that I can't even keep up with just regular social media. And it's making me feel super old. But I watched this thing yesterday where it was fast forward. If you are on my Facebook page, or you're in the reseller group, I posted it on both, and you could see where the different websites like AOL, how AOL back in 85, I think is where it started, was like the top number one website, and how and how all these websites changed, and they grew and they shrunk and they grew, and eBay was on there for a while. Yahoo was way up there, and then it shrunk way down, and Google's way up there, and Amazon, and you see them move around, and some of them drop off and come back and drop off, and it was super cool. But having lived through before it got started through to now, and knowing most of the companies that were on the list, it was super interesting to watch, where some of them started and when they popped up, and then who ended up on top in the end. There was a couple of Chinese websites on there that I didn't recognize. And so I went to one of them because it had a little dog paw next to it. And I was like, oh, some kind of pet site? And I got there and I was like, oh, I can't read anything that's here. So I left. Sidegig says I used a Dreamweaver in the 90s. Yeah, I tried that too. And I think it's still around, but I'm done with that these days. I'm not. I mean, I'm gonna dabble, but I will have someone else get it started, and then I will go from there. So I am having a website built now for the consulting side of my business, and it's gonna have some coaching and all kinds of stuff over there. And then I'm going to also add in like a WooCommerce site where I move everything that I have on eBay onto that, because then I can also list some things on my WooCommerce site that I can't put on eBay. And to be perfectly honest, I tried to do Poshmark for a while, and I just can't. It drives me nuts. When you get used to some of the tools that eBay has to offer and how shipping and everything is so, it's all right there. Everything's right there. Everything you need, there's a window for it, so you can see all of your stuff. Maybe not exactly, which is why I have my workbook that gives you different views, but okay. Well, just kind of sitting here having a monologue, and I appreciate you guys being here and still watching, even though I'm just kind of chatting out loud. But I appreciate you guys for watching and being here and talking to me a little bit in the chat. So side gig, we will have, or we do have an avenue for getting that website built that, as far as I understand, it's not that expensive. So let me know if you need some information on that. I can get Renee to send you something. Just, send me, my email is somewhere on here. And then you can reach me on Facebook. My link tree is definitely in the description. So you can reach me on Linktree, or through Linktree, or through Facebook, through here. Dawn says, where do I find the updated Poshmark sheet? I put a Poshmark sheet in the reseller group. It's in the files in the reseller group. Once this ends, I can go find it and tag you in it. Great. I don't know what your real name is. I mean, I know somebody that does eBay and food delivery and grocery delivery and stuff, but I don't know if you are that person. that's also in the group. Sure, Dawn, no problem. I will get that taken care of after we end this live. Well, do we have anything else? Okay. Side Gig says, I probably don't know, but they will be able to reach me. So that's fine. That works. Yeah, if you're in the group, I'm not hard to find. And my link tree is below too. So super easy. And I'm horrible with names. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. I am horrible with names. So, you know, you're in here as one thing and you tell me you'll connect the dots for me. And then by the time we get back over here, I won't, I won't remember unless we chat on a really super regular basis. Like I see Kimmery all the time. I see Dawn all the time. Debbie that was here earlier. So yeah. People that I see all the time, I will remember. And eventually I will remember. I will remember you. Or make the connection between your real name and your handle. All right, well, I'll give it a little over 2 minutes. And if there are no more questions, then I'm just going to go ahead and call it for today and get back to doing some of this work before the clothing call starts in the group. If you have anything, I mean, I'm happy to stay. If you guys have anything that you want to chat about or you have any questions, I am happy to stay. I'm happy to answer your questions. But I've kind of run out of things to talk about. I mean, I'm literally looking around at the same walls that I see all the time to see if there's anything that I can bring up. All right. Well, got about a minute and a half left. What is, Sherry says, what is the advantage of that is it inventory loan? Do you mean like what Lending Point is offering on eBay? I spoke of. Oh, the investment loan I spoke of. So the DSCR loan. It really depends on what you're looking for, but for the mortgage. So the DSCR loan is you don't need your you don't need a W-2. You don't need your tax return. It's not based on your income. It's based on the debt to income potential of the property. You still need a good credit score. Well, you still need a credit score. I mean, it doesn't have to be great, but it's going to get based on your credit score, and then with the debt ratio of the property, and your that is going to determine your down payment. But I'm butchering that, and Adam explained it eloquently yesterday. So please just take a listen at yesterday's video. We had a little bit of difficulty in the beginning, but take a listen at that. In the description of yesterday's video is Adam's information. So if you have any further questions, you can reach out to him. Oh, great. You were on the call. Perfect. So, yeah, I mean, the advantage is you don't have to, use your own income levels. And the advantage of having a real estate investment is somewhere you can put money that you're earning in another business so that you can help reduce your tax burden. So that would be benefits to it. Yes, you can. Yeah, I clarified that on the call yesterday. You can live in it. It can be an investment loan and you can live in it. Right, and pay your LLC. You would be the renter. You personally would rent from your business. So so Sherry says, is that better than paying cash? In my opinion, yes. You can put a really good cash payment down, get the best interest rate. Never, my take on it is keep your cash. Cash is king. Use other people's money to make more money. Have the cash available. That way, if something comes along that you can't use some type of a loan for, then you're still able to get involved with whatever it is. When you're talking about investment property, that's an asset. And it literally makes you money. Interest rates are pretty much across the board. Adam talked a little bit about that yesterday, and they change all the time, especially right now. He also talked about one of the things that I was super surprised about was that even if it's a break even right now, doesn't mean that it's a bad deal long term. So you really have to look at all of the pros and cons for a piece of property, and for the loans and for the interest rates. Sherry says it won't make me money if I live in it. But it will reduce your tax burden. And some of these things I I can't explain just in general here. I would have to go over these things with you in through a consultation type call where we would, look at things on, on paper, so to speak. Um, Actually write things out based on more on your situation, not situations in general. But the gist of it is how in general. The gist of it is that you have your eBay business. We'll say you're over here. You personally, you have an eBay business. Then you start an LLC for real estate. Your real estate company buys a place. You move into the place as the renter. You pay the rent to the real estate company. The real estate company, I'm getting to that. The real estate company takes the money and pays the mortgage. When you over here with your eBay business, you are able to take that rent that you're paying over to your LLC, you're able to take all of that rent plus all of your other home expenses off on your home office deduction. So that will reduce your tax burden by whatever percentage you use your home office. So, however big the space is, you get to take that percentage of all of those bills, including your rent. So, if you have rent that's $2,000 a month per se, for example, that's $24,000 a year. And if you have just 10% of your space, that's $2,400 that would come off of your tax bill. And that's just from the rent. Now, on the LLC side of things, you get, depending on how your place is rented, there are deductions that you can take from your rental. So there's a whole separate set of deductions that you can take over there. And hopefully the property appreciates. If you are using if you have a short-term rental, then like an Airbnb, or you rent it, anything rented for less than a year at a time. Pretty sure that's the case. I would need to double check it. But I'm pretty sure that anything that's rented for less than a year at a time can be treated as a short-term rental, in which case you can depreciate the property, you can depreciate the house, and the items that are in it. So that gives you an entire other set of deductions. Sounds good. Okay, well, Sherry says there's a moratorium on short-term rentals in Louisville. Okay, but we discussed this, and you are talking about not living there year-round. So it would still be a short-term rental. Just maybe half the year you're not even getting to rent it, or whatever you're right. So, and therein lies another deduction. Right. But you need to understand, okay? All of this stuff, your single owner LLC and your C corp, I mean not your C corp, and your Schedule C, your regular sole prop for or LLC, your other single member LLC, whatever it is, all of those flow through together. They come down here, you get this number. This one comes down here, you get this number. Both of those numbers come over here, and they're just all netted, plopped together on a Schedule C. I mean, on a 1040. Sorry. So if I'm just going to throw out numbers here, right? So if you have a real estate company that loses 10 grand and you have a eBay business that nets 10 grand, then on your 1040, you're at zero. Just as a super easy example. But without having done the property as a real estate company, you wouldn't have been able to do that. So Sherry says, I have an LLC already for my social media internet marketing biz. Do I need another? You want to keep anything that's real estate completely separate. So if you have a notary business, that needs to be separate. If you have a real estate business, that needs to be separate. Nothing else are no other businesses, no other revenue streams, only real estate for a real estate LLC. All righty. Do we have anything else? Well, we have just under 7 minutes left. If you need a consult, if you need help with your bookkeeping, if you haven't gotten the workbook yet and you want to try the workbook, the link for everything is in the description below. No, Sherry, I don't. You'd have to check my calendar. But there should not be any time on my calendar for this week. The soonest would be next Tuesday. That reminds me. I'm going to just double check. Okay, so I have got to fix. Ooh, fun. I have got to fix my link for my calendar. I don't know where it went. I had some issues in changing some things, and with my domain. So something apparently got disconnected. Oh, that's not what I wanted. This needs to be. Okay, so all right. Okay, my calendar's working again. Sorry about that. Well, it's not quite working because it's showing time that's not supposed to be there. Oh, for heaven's sake. That's not what I wanted. Wednesday. All right, so it's not like my appointments aren't even showing up. Okay, so it looks like I got that straight. So there are times available next week, and the calendar is back up and running, and that is still not. Okay. Crazy. All right, well, I'm not gonna just keep sitting here and letting you guys watch me fix my broken stuff. So for those that are going to the clothing call, I will see you over there, so that and I will be working during that. And otherwise, I will be back here next Tuesday for the podcast with Renee. Please join us and go subscribe to her channel. Also, I will be back here next Wednesday for the last Wednesday of the month for more Q&A, and I will see what I can do as far as having maybe a topic in case there is no questions next week. So I look forward to talking with you guys again and seeing you in the future around the group and around here, and maybe at some point face to face. All right. Thank you all for coming. Bye.